Have you ever had goals in your life of how you thought your life was going to be after you finish your undergraduate degree, after you went to university, after you accomplished all the goals that you had? You had an idea. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to make this amount of money. I'm going to find a significant other. I'm going to get married. I'm going to get kids. I'm going to have babies. I'm going to buy a car, buy a house, and oof, have all that figured out. And then you graduate and you realize there's nothing that's going on that was anything close to what you planned. Sometimes it seems like your life is going backward instead of forward, right? Well, if anything I said resonates with you, keep watching this video. Hey guys, my name is Salem Soni and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I focus on two things: faith and entrepreneurship. I help individuals such as yourself to be more motivated, to discover their purpose, and to understand that you are God's very best. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. So to give you guys somewhat of a context, I finished my undergraduate degree at the Pennsylvania State University, Penn State for short, blue and white. For life, bleed blue and white. So I love my alma mater. Love is a strong word. I'm really grateful and passionate about my alma mater. I'm trying to be more conscious about using the word love in the right context, because sometimes people use it loosely, but that's another video. But listen, I'm really proud of the education I got, the system, the environment, the people that I met over there. I think the people, the connections, the experience, the interaction, there's really no price to that, right? The tuition definitely has a price. But one thing I enjoy after I finished my undergraduate degree was the open mind that I had now about different things. Coming from Africa, I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Having come to America, I think at the age I was 13 years old when I came here. And I think I was 13. Yeah, I just turned 13 years old. So when I came to the States, getting adjusted, I didn't speak any English. So learning English and then make sure I have enough score to go to a school like Penn State. It was just an incredible opportunity for me to be able to do so. So it was just an incredible time. I was really blessed and privileged to be able to go to a school like that, learn. After I finished, one of my desires was always to, let me go ahead and do a master's degree, right? I've always said, let me continue my education. But some things happened that were not in the place, financially. I wanted to get rid of many of my student loan debt that I already had accumulated due to my undergraduate degree. I don't come from a rich, wealthy family. My parents, middle class, hardworking forest pastors. We travel the world, we do what God wants us to do. So I wanted to really kind of take care of that. The reason I want to be transparent in this video, so I think it can be an encouragement to somebody else when you're in the process. So currently in the past few months or so, I've been really in my head, I need to, put some things together to really kind of get back on actually going and doing a master's degree. So there's two different routes I want to go with my master's degree, or maybe I might do both. I'm not sure yet. Maybe one before the other. One, the route is to get an MBA, a Master in Business Administration. For those of you guys who follow me, especially on this channel, I focus on business. I do a lot of things about entrepreneurship. So I wanted to learn more about that. I wanted to really strengthen some of my weaknesses, some of the things that I do not know, which I think is really important. Even as an entrepreneur, you have to understand some of the basic things of accounting, admin stuff. All that is really important. The other route for an advanced degree would be something probably in theology. So I wanted to learn more about the Bible, about the gospel, hermeneutics, Old New Testament understanding, how, the eschatology of the word, all that stuff was really something that intrigues me because I just want to become sharper. I want to understand the word, the Greek, the Hebrew, all that stuff. So that's a lot said. One of the things that was kind of like frustrating after I finished my degree, because I finished in 2015, it's 2018, so it's been 3 years. I've been busy. I've traveled, I've preached the gospel, I've worked, I've been in the financial world. So there's a lot of different places, a lot of different things that I've done. So it's not like I've just, closed my hand and done nothing. But one of the biggest, thing that was kind of like heavy on my heart was the fact of throughout this process, I always wanted to grow because I asked myself, okay, what do I even want to go and get a master's degree for? Because I've always kind of like grew up in a family where like education is really important, right? And education has been viewed as like if you're not really highly educated, you don't have a master's degree or something like that. It may not be vocally said, like it may not be verbally said to you, but there's this like silent sense of being lesser than, or at least being feel like you haven't completely accomplished everything, or right, there's something like that. I'm not saying this coming from my family, my siblings, or anything, or my parents, but it's just like a general notice, especially being an African, a millennial, or even being just someone from the diaspora who was born in Africa but living abroad. So that was kind of like the general idea. Me and my consensus was I was thinking to myself of like, that's not how I define success, in terms of having a degree or saying that I went to Harvard or Yale or something like that. For me, I've always said I wanted to accomplish the vision that God put in my head and how that vision would impact the world. But at the same time, I wanted to have consistency in growth. And here becomes the really important part, the consistency in growth. Because some of us, we have all these goals we put in of what the things we want to achieve. And that's not bad. None of those goals are even bad. Trust me, listen to me. None of the goals are bad. It's just that we feel often, sometimes so low about ourselves because we don't accomplish those goals. And more importantly, the reason why not accomplishing those goals seems sometimes so crushing is because we're not growing either during that process. So life is going to happen. Let me tell you something. Life is going to happen. You're going to put some goals. You're going to put some desire for you to do something. Life is going to happen. Like a loved one might die. A best friend might leave you. Somebody might cheat on you. Like a significant other might, decide that they don't want to live their life with you. A lot of things could happen. You could break up. You have your heart broken. Lose your job. You could relocate. I mean, so many things can happen, right? By the way, I apologize. There's going to be a fluctuation in terms of the lighting here. I'm shooting with natural light today, and the sun is a cloudy there, so sometimes it gets sunny, cloudy. We'll work with it. So in that particular notion, when you understand that life is going to happen in the midst of good days and bad days, the thing that has to be intentional and this thing that has to be almost paramount to help you have emotional stability is being consistent in your growth. In consistently growing, for you to effectively grow consistently, you have to grow in various areas. You can't just expect to grow in the same area and have that area only sustain you and give you the satisfaction you want. I hope this makes sense. It's really important. Let me break it down. So if for you, success has always been like, I want to make a lot of money from my job. The moment you lose your job, the moment you're no longer, for example, you can no longer afford to get the same salary that you had at the job that you previously acquired, guess what? Now you start feeling bad about yourself, and it's affecting your marriage, it's affecting your kids, it's affecting your community, it's affecting other things you could also be involved in. So now your whole life seems like it's crappy just because your job, there's no growth in your job. Or sometimes you may not, you didn't lose a job. You still have a job, but it's stagnant. You're not getting a promotion. You've been at the same position for the past 6-7 years. So now you're feeling like bad. But the problem is because there's no growth in that area, and you thought that for your life to have meaning, you only have to have growth in your work life. So because there's no growth there, now you're feeling stagnant, and it's impacting your life. You don't feel purposeful. The key about effective efficiency in emotional stability is consistent growth, and in multiple areas. How is that relevant to what I was talking about in terms of me trying to get a master's degree? Because for me, education is really important. Acquiring knowledge, maybe that's the best way to put it. Acquiring knowledge was really important. But what was more important was not just to get it in a formal setting. So I did so as part from when I graduated from my undergraduate degree. I was part of different programs, coachings, business accelerators. I mean, different things that I had to put in place. I traveled a lot with my parents, so learned on the boots. I traveled around with people, mentors, people that I respect, to be able to learn. I did different type of businesses. All this different type of things I was always adding a skill, always adding a skill. So I worked 9 to 5 jobs. I did side hustles. I tried different things, and all the variety of these different things helped me to understand the importance of consistently improving in my individual personality and my growth. Another area that's really important was also my health. So for me, it was really important. So even this is something that I don't necessarily share too much on this channel because I don't think there's so much of a need. Maybe later on, I don't know. Is my health in terms of my physical health. So one of the things that I've always been keen on was to improve my physical health. So at the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, I started to be more conscious about eating better. We come from a family where there could be some diseases, that are passed through the family. So you have to be careful about how you eat. Living in America, if you're not conscious about what you eat, you can really eat bad food. You know what I mean? So you have to be conscious about like the way you cook, what you do. When I remember even living in college, many of my roommates and my friends were like, yo, you eat so clean. You're very conscious about what you do. So I just wanted to keep that as I grew, as I move into the next step of my life. So that was really important for me, right? So last year I decided to be more conscious about going to the gym. So my goal was really like at least every week to be at the gym at least once a day, right? I mean, once every week, once a day. Wow. Once every week, right? So it went on from being one time every week to maybe twice a week to 3 times a week, where I'm like super consistent going to the gym. And physically, I was like, oh, it started having an effect, more stamina, more stronger, helps my mind stay up, wake up more early. I feel like because I work out, I feel more tired at night, which means I actually go to sleep and actually have longer sleeps. My sleep is not so interrupted. So all those different things started playing a role because now physically I felt like I was growing, right? So even if in another area where my formal education felt stagnant, my physical growth and my health was growing. So I was starting to feel good, even though I'm not yet doing my master's degree. Yet I'm still happy because I feel like I'm growing physically. I'm changing. My physiology is changing. My metabolism is changing. My body is changing. I'm health conscious. The other day I was thinking like, yo, I don't really feel like drinking soda as much. Like I drink a lot of water. I have to stay, hydrated. All these different things that play a big role. Another area that I was also very conscious about trying to grow in was my happiness, my love life. So I started becoming also more intentional. I remember, a lot of things had happened, when I was in school. Relationship fell through, really, heart was broken, all those different things. But then things changed, 2016, met the love of my life. And also, like, meeting her was not just enough just to meet her, but growing in that relationship was also important. Like one of the things that we decided to challenge ourselves was to always communicate. So we are people who are big on communication, increase our communication, talk, explain things through. So that was something that also helped us in our growth. And me, I feel like I'm also growing because I'm learning more how to communicate better. I'm learning how to be more expressive, express my love, understand her. What's the love language? What's my love language? So all those different things, like growing in that understanding. What are some of my goals? Like looking at how I'm not just thinking about myself anymore, take care of not just me, but also what I'm preparing for the goals for the future. I have to think of her as well. And like all these different things were super, super important for me, right? So in that particular sense, even though my formal education, I felt like I was stagnant, me as an individual, I still felt very happy because there were many other areas in my life where I was growing. And that's what I want to also encourage you. So if in this, it feels like your life is stagnant right now, have an introspective look at your life, right? So do a self-check and say, is my joy only coming because I've only put my growth on one particular area of my life, like my job or my marriage? Like it could be like for you to be okay, your marriage has to be okay, right? Like you could be having all these accolades at work, but because your marriage is not working, you're not taking care of your body, right? You're not taking care of your health. You're not watching what you're eating. You're not exercising. Like that's really important. You have to start thinking about that, right? Or maybe it's your body. Maybe because you don't have the body maybe that you wanted. It's impacting your marriage, it's impacting your work, it's impacting even like you don't read books, all those different things. So start thinking about your life. Like, you are a multifaceted type of individual. You're not just one dimensional. So think about, how can I grow in one particular area so that can help me in a long term grow in other different areas as well. I hope that kind of makes sense, right, to some of you guys. I just want to encourage some of you guys who are watching this. You maybe feel like beaten and stuff like that. I hope this can help you get some emotional stability for you to know, like, it's not over because you're not winning in this particular area that you're not going to win in other ones, right? Don't let the enemy speak these things in your mind that's going to discourage you. Be encouraged to know there are multiple other facets about your life where you can grow, or maybe where you've been growing. You just never been paying attention to it because you've only put your joy to be determined by one particular area growing, where the other ones are experiencing growth. Or maybe, you know what? The moment you start to look at some of those other areas, you'll start realizing that they will start growing exponentially even more than what they've been already, because they've been growing without you paying so much attention to them. Think about this. You might be so focused about your job, but your marriage is actually doing okay. The moment you start paying attention more about, like, my spouse, you start seeing, wow, it start flourishing even more. The moment you start, like, okay, yeah, you might have a good body right now, but how would it be if you start eating clean? More vegetables, less junk food, started walking instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs. Like, you start seeing, like, oh, I start feeling more better. Drink more water instead of soda. Like, all these different type of things. Like, maybe you don't have to read a book every single week. What about a book every 2 months? You know what I mean? A good book and read. We're like, yo, I'm starting learning some new stuff. What about, deciding to go on a vacation somewhere for like a weekend, like a couple of days, you go visit something you've never been before, and your mind is expanded. Instead of just reading, like, gossip magazine, trying to read something that is historical or something that is practical. Take online courses. I offer an online course as well, so there might be a link in the description about public speaking, where I help, like, if you've always thought about public speaking, you have struggles with that, you want to know, it's basically a complete guide, a complete beginner's guide on public speaking. So, shameless plug, link in the description. But I hope this can be kind of helpful. I think the video is kind of getting a little bit long, but I hope this can kind of help you to understand. For you to have emotional stability, you have to have consistent growth in multiple aspects of your life, right? I just want to say this. You're not going to give 100% to each particular aspect. The idea of multitasking is kind of a myth, because you cannot multi-focus, right? So there might be a particular area where you might put a lot more of your focus, but guess what? Instead of only putting the focus on that solely, you could shift your focus. You could say, okay, at this particular time, I'm going to focus on this, and then I'm going to focus on that one, and then I'm focused on that one. Just the fact of being conscious about other aspects of your life is definitely going to help you. About being conscious about growing those aspects of your life, that's even more better. What do you guys think, right? What do you guys think about this? Am I just full of crap and I should just go get my degree and, move on with this? But what do you guys think? Because for me, for sure, to be honest, even, I want to hear what you think, but it's not really going to affect me so much because I'm really happy, right? I'm going to get my degree. That's for sure. But at the same time, I'm glad that in this particular moment, I've been able to grow. And I didn't do this by myself. I've had, mentors, people that have helped me. So that's why I'm also doing this video, to help you. Maybe you never thought about this, about growing in other aspects of your life, except for just one, and have that one particular aspect impact so much of your happiness and joy in your life overall. So let me know in the comment description below. And if this video has helped you, make sure you share it to 1 or 2 people. I think they will also find some value from this. Again, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that subscribe button, and also click the bell right next to it so you get notified when the new videos come out. That's all that I have for me. Always remember, you are God's very best. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.